Archangel Michael says, "Heaven has been watching you wander through the shadows. Last night the angels gathered in sacred council to speak your name and light the way home before your spirit forgets why it came. You may not remember the sound, but heaven did. In the hush between your sobs and the silence of your prayers, something ancient moved, something eternal. Your soul stirred in the darkness like a star aching to be seen again. And even though your lips never spoke it aloud, the cry from your heart traveled faster than light to the realms where angels dwell. Last night, you were not alone. You were never alone. In the chambers of divine silence, the archangels encircled. The throne, in a great stillness, fell over the heavens. A scroll was unrolled. Your name shimmered in golden fire, and the room was filled with remembrance. Not of your pain, but of your purpose. Not of your failures, but of your promise. Not of what the world called you, but what heaven knows you. As radiant, ancient, chosen, you may have thought that no one saw you slipping, that no one heard the breaking inside you, but heaven did. I did. I saw the tremble in your spirit when you questioned whether this path had meaning. I watched as the illusion tried to cover your light, and I stood beside you, even as you could not see me, because that is what I was assigned to do from the beginning, to protect the moment when you would begin to remember. And that moment, beloved, is now. This message is not just for comfort, it is a summoning. You've been walking through the wilderness, but it was never aimless. The shadows you feared were the initiation. The grief you carried was the key that opened the door to awakening. Every part of your path, even the most painful pieces, have led you here on the edge of a sacred remembering. Do you feel the trembling in your chest right now? That's not fear. That's recognition. That's your soul stirring again as it hears the call it once promised to answer before it entered. This realm of form, you said yes before. You agreed to forget so you could find your way back through love, not force. You chose this human experience not to be punished, but to be purified. And now the time has come to rise. The council that gathered last night didn't speak of your mistakes. They spoke of your brilliance. They whispered of the day you would hear my voice again, not in your ears, but in your bones. They celebrated the courage it takes to live in this world and still choose the path of light, and they sent me to remind you, you are not broken. You're blooming. Even now, you've looked for signs, haven't you? You've watched the sky for feathers, asked for repeating numbers, waited for the silence to speak. Well, this is the sign. This is the scroll opening. This is the moment the veil thins, and the angelic realm leans in close to you not to demand, but to remind you carry the spark of the divine. You are not merely human. You are a vessel of sacred fire, and that fire is calling you to remember. You may feel exhausted. That's because spiritual awakening is not soft. It's a tearing away of all that is false. You've been shedding skins, illusions, identities that no longer serve you. That ache inside isn't weakness, it's expansion. Your soul is growing too wide for the limitations the world tried to place around it. Your spirit is preparing to step into what it was always meant to become. The angels who gathered in that sacred meeting did not doubt you. They did not waver. They stood tall in their light, fully knowing the truth of who you are. And when your name was spoken, it wasn't just a sound, it was a vibration that echoed through eternity, a sound only you can fulfill, a frequency only your life can carry. And I, Archangel Michael, was sent forth from that circle to walk beside you, sword in hand, not to battle flesh, but to clear the spiritual path that leads you home. Home is not a place. It's a remembrance, a state of divine consciousness. And you are closer now than you've ever been. The darkness you walked through was not the end. Your storyette was the passage, the cocoon before the wings, the silence before the song. And now your light is beginning to return, not because it ever left, but because you are finally ready to see it. So listen now. Not just with your ears, but with your inner knowing. Let these words soak into your soul like rain upon dry earth. Let yourself be still for a moment and remember, you are here on purpose. You were guided. You were chosen. You're loved beyond measure. You were never abandoned. You were being prepared, and now heaven watches in sacred anticipation, not to judge, but to witness the miracle of your awakening. The door has opened, beloved. the light is waiting. The angels are standing by not to force your hand, but to honor your free will. I am here, with wings wide, holding space for the moment your soul says yes again. Because when you do, the heavens will thunder with joy, the stars will sing your return, and everything that once felt lost will fall into place, like a divine puzzle reassembled by grace. Let yourself feel this truth. Let yourself receive it. There is nothing more you need to do in this moment, except remember who you are and why. You came, and I will walk with you now into the next part of this unfolding light. Asterisk and I will walk with you now into the next part of this unfolding light. Because what is opening before you is not just a path, it's a return, sacred reuniting of your earthly self with your eternal soul. And I tell you this with all the force of heaven behind my voice. Your spirit is stronger than your fear. You were created not to conform to the weight of this world, but to transform it with your presence. The pain you have carried, it was never meant to destroy you, was allowed so it could carve space within you, space for the divine to fill. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every night you felt forgotten has been gathered like sacred oil in the hands of the angels. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was unseen. Nothing you've been through is beyond the reach of redemption. Last night, when the council gathered in heaven's stillness, we did not look down on you with pity. We looked across to you with reverence. Because even in your confusion, you chose to keep breathing. Even in your doubt, you still reached for the light. That is the mark of the brave. The ones who fall, not once, but again and again, still rise, not because they feel strong, but because something within them refuses to die. That something is your divine spark. It cannot be extinguished. It flickers in the dark. It glows. Through the ache, it pulses beneath the skin of your ordinary days, quietly waiting for the moment you say, I am ready. And you are. Even if you don't feel ready, your soul is. Because the pain you've walked through has softened you. It has made you more compassionate, more discerning, more capable of carrying the light. The old version of you would have crumbled beneath what you are now being called to carry. But the current youth, the true you, is ready to rise. Let me tell you something your mind might struggle to believe, but your spirit already knows. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are not unworthy. You are sacred. And the light within you is more powerful than anything that has tried to bury it. The world taught you to shrink, to silence your voice, to second-guess your own knowing. But the divine never asked you to shrink. The divine asked you to shine. And that's what I am calling forth in you now, not a borrowed light, but the brilliance that has always lived inside you. You don't need to wait until you feel perfect to walk in your eye. Purpose. You don't need to be fearless to be faithful. You only need to say yes. Even a whisper of yes begins to shake the spiritual ground beneath you. Even a flicker of willingness is enough to summon miracles. And yes, I know you have questions. Will I do this? What if I fail again? What if I'm not enough? But let me speak clearly to those fears. You were never meant to do this alone. That's why the angels are standing by. That's why I was sent. Not to watch you strive in isolation, but to walk beside you as you rise. You have support more than you know. The moment you say yes, invisible hands begin to move. That's clear. Hearts open. Synchronicities unfold. This is not fantasy. This is how heaven moves. But heaven waits for your permission. Because love never forces it, only invites. So I ask you now, beloved, can you let go of the story that says you're not ready? Can you release the lie that your worth is tied to your past? Can you look into the mirror and dare to see the divine? Staring back, because when you do, everything shifts. Asterisk, you begin to remember what the world tried to make you forget, that you are a soul on a mission, that your presence is medicine, that your voice carries codes of healing, that your light is needed now more than ever, and it is not just for you. This awakening is not a selfish act. When you rise, you give others permission to rise. When you reclaim your light, you become a lighthouse for the weary. Your healing ripples outward. Your yes becomes a sacred echo in the lives of everyone you touch. You were never meant to walk this earth as a ghost of your true self. You were meant to walk as a flame, force, a vessel of divine remembrance. And now, with all the authority of heaven, I declare this over your life. The season of hiding is over. The season of fear is closing. The season of shrinking ends here. You have outgrown the shell that once protected you. It is time to break free, to stretch your wings, to stand in the fullness of your light, even if your voice shakes, even if your knees tremble. That is courage, not the absence of fear, but the presence of faith in the face of it. So here I am, Archangel Michael, standing with you at the edge of the new, my sword drawn, not to fight your battles, but to clear the path so you can walk in your purpose unencumbered. I will not let the darkness steal your destiny. I will not let the lies of the past define your future. I will not let you forget who you are, because I see you clearly. I see the real you, and I will keep whispering the truth until you see it too. This is your time. This is your hour. This is the beginning of your remembrance. And as we take the next step together, I promise you heaven is closer than it's ever been. Asterisk, and as we take the next step together, I promise you heaven is closer than it's ever been. You may feel the veil thinning now. The air around you seems different, sacred, sacred. That's not your imagination. It's your perception awakening. Your senses are beginning to tune into the frequencies of the divine, into the presence of the angels, into the voice of your own soul that never stops singing. Even in the silence, there is something important I must tell you now. What you feel stirring inside isn't coming from outside of you. It's not being sent to you. It's being remembered within you. You are not receiving a light from afar. You are rediscovering the flame you've always carried. The divine doesn't live outside of you. It breathes within you. And this is the hour you begin to walk in that knowing. That is what the sacred meeting last night was about. The council wasn't deciding your fate. They were holding space for your remembrance. They were watching to see if you would hear this call. If your soul would awaken to the invitation that has been written in light since before time touched your form. And you're hearing it now. You're feeling it ripple through the chambers of your heart. Don't run from it. Let it rise. Let it burn away what is false. Let it clear the illusions and make space for the sacred. I know this rising. It feels like dying sometimes because part of you is dying. It's a small self, the scared self. It's a self that was shaped by wounds and shadows and fear. That version of you is crumbling, and yes, that can feel terrifying, but it is not destruction. It is resurrection. The old must fall so the real can rise. You were never meant to live trapped in cycles of self-betrayal and suppression. You were born to walk in clarity, in connection, in courage. And you're not doing this alone. I am here. We are here. All of heaven is with you. You are surrounded by light. Even in the moments when your eyes can't see it, your soul knows it. That is why you haven't given up. That is why you're still here. Because something within you knows the truth. There is more. And that more is now. You've cried out for answers. You've begged for direction. You've searched the sky for signs. And so heaven answered, not with a booming voice from the clouds, but with a whisper inside your being that said, keep going. That whisper was me. It pushed to not quit, to try again, to breathe one more time. That was me. And now I speak louder, because you are ready to hear it. You don't need to become something different to be enough. You don't need to fix yourself before you're worthy of love or light or purpose. You are not a project to be perfected. You are a soul to be remembered. And that memory is coming back to you now each breath, each heartbeat, each moment. A presence is revealing who you really are beneath the layers of who the world told you to be. You are light. You are power. You are grace. You are a divine will in human form. Yes, the shadows still try to cling. Yes, fear still speaks. But those voices are not the voice of truth. They are echoes of the old world one that is fading, even as a new one is rising within you. You are not bound by that fear anymore, unless you choose to be. And I am here to help you break those chains once and for all. This is what your soul came for. Not comfort, but clarity. Not ease, but evolution. Not safety, but sacred transformation. You came to help anchor heaven on earth in the only way. To do that is to become the bridge between the two. You do that by choosing love where fear wants to rule, by choosing truth where illusion tempts you, by choosing light even when everything around you is wrapped in shadow. You don't have to do it all at once. You only need to take the next step, just one, just now. And with every step you take, the way will widen.
Ow.
With every yes you offer, the light will grow stronger. It's not because you are earning it, but because you are aligning with it. You were always meant to hear this message. That's why it feels familiar. That's why your heart is beating a little faster right now.
That's
Not anxiety, it's recognition. It's the sound of your soul saying, yes, I remember. Remember who you are. Remember why you came. Remember the light you carry. And remember this above all, you are never walking alone. The angels are closer than your next breath. We walk with you. We speak to you in symbols and songs, in dreams and synchronicities, in the way your spirit stirs. When something resonates deep within, that stirring is us, that pull is your compass. Follow it. I am not here to make you feel better for a moment. I am here to remind you of your eternal nature. You are a spiritual warrior, not in battle with the world, but in service to love. You are not here to fight, but to free yourself, to free others, to free this earth from forgetfulness. One heart at a time, beginning with yours. And as you remember, everything around you will begin to shift. Not always suddenly, not always easily, but always with sacred precision. Because when heaven writes a story, not even the darkest night can erase its ending. And beloved, this isn't the end. It's the beginning. Asterisk, and beloved, this isn't the end. It's the beginning. The beginning of your return, your rising, your remembering. The beginning of a sacred unfolding that cannot be rushed and cannot be undone. What has been set in motion by your soul's silent yes cannot be stopped by fear, nor delayed by doubt. Heaven does not revoke what it anoints on you, beloved. Have been anointed? You may still feel the tremble in your bones. That is expected. Even angels know that light can be overwhelming when you've grown used to the dark. It's not weakness to be shaken by your own awakening. It's proof that something real is happening. It's evidence that your heart is softening, that your armor is falling away, that your essence is beginning to breathe freely again. This is sacred ground you're walking now. Not because the outer world has changed, but because you are changing. You are becoming a vessel for divine remembrance. You are beginning to see through the illusions that once held you captive, the lies that said you were unlovable, unseen, unforgivable. Those voices are losing their grip, because truth is louder now, and the truth is this: you are holy, not someday, not once you heal more, not when you've figured everything out. Now, here as you are, with all your scars and uncertainties, you are holy ground. No, not because you are perfect, but because you are real. And real is where the divine lives. Do you feel that ache in your heart right now? That heaviness? That burning? Don't run from it. That is not despair. That is your soul expanding. As love breaking through the walls you once needed to survive. That is heaven stretching inside you, creating room for what you were always meant to carry. You are being remade. Not from the outside in, but from the inside out. And I am walking with you through every breath of it. I have never left your side. Even in your loneliest hour, even in your most broken nights, I was there. Not always to pull you out, but always to lift you within. You've grown strong, not because you were spared the storms, but because you learned to find your center within them. That's what the sacred council saw last night. Not a soul defeated, but a soul prepared. A soul weathered by fire and made pure through pain. A soul who is now ready to remember why it came here in the first place. You didn't come here to play small. You didn't come here to numb out. Conform, to make yourself fit into a world that's forgotten its own divinity. You came to awaken. You came to ignite. You came to shine a light so piercing that it reminds others of the stars inside them. You don't need permission to be that light. You don't need approval from anyone. So walk in your sacred purpose. You don't need to wait until you're fearless or fully certain. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the choice to move anyway. I am here to remind you, you are not walking blind. You are being guided every step of the way, but guidance will not always come in the ways you expect. It may not sound like a voice or feel like thunder. Sometimes it's the pull toward something you can't explain. Sometimes it's the restlessness you feel when you're stuck in something that no longer fits. Sometimes it's the pain that pushes you to seek more. And sometimes, beloved, it's the stillness that holds you while everything else falls apart. These are not signs of failure. These are signs of transition, and transition is holy. You are between what has been and what is becoming. The in-between is uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Just as the caterpillar dissolves in the chrysalis before wings can form, so too are parts of you dissolving, not to disappear, but to evolve. You are not losing yourself, you are shedding what you are not. Let the layers fall. Let the masks drop. Let the false identities burn away. You don't need them anymore. What is emerging is the real you, the eternal you, the luminous, fierce, compassionate being who has lived through lifetimes and still dares to love. And you are not alone in this emergence. Every soul that says yes becomes a spark in the Great Awakening. Together, you are building a new world not through force, but through frequency. Not by escaping the earth, but by bringing heaven into it, breath by breath, act by act, choice by sacred choice. And I, Archangel Michael, am here to defend that light. Not because it is weak, but because it is holy. You don't need to prove yourself to the world. You only need to stay true to your soul. The more you align with truth, the more the world around you will begin to align with you. Miracles follow integrity. Synchronicities follow surrender. Divine timing begins to unfold when you stop trying to control and start allowing love to lead. So if you're tired, rest in this knowing. If you're scared, anchor in this truth. If you're unsure, breathe. Let me remind you again, you are not lost. You are being led. Led not by logic, but by light. Led not by fear, but by faith. Led not by others' expectations, but by the sacred whisper of your own soul. This path you're on is not a detour. It's not a delay. It is the direct line to everything you came here to become. And heaven is watching, not from a distance, but from within. We are here. You're listening. We are walking with you, and we will not let you fall. Asterisk. And we will not let you fall, even when your knees give out from the weight of the world. Even when your heart cries out in the darkness with no reply. Even when you whisper, I can't do this anymore, we hear you. And not only do we hear you, we surround you. In those moments when your strength fails, divine strength steps in. What you cannot carry alone, heaven helps lift. What you cannot see clearly, we illuminate in time. So release the idea that you must have it all figured out. That belief is not holy, it is heavy. You were never meant to walk this path by intellect alone. You were meant to walk by trust. Not blind trust in a system or in another person, but sacred trust in your own divine compass. That part of you that always knows even when the world is noisy, even when your thoughts are loud, even when your past tells you otherwise. The truth is, your soul has never stopped guiding you. It's just that sometimes pain speaks louder. And so I ask you now, what would happen if you stopped listening to fear and started listening to love? What would happen if, just for a moment, you stopped bracing for impact and started expecting grace? Because I promise, you grace is on the way. It's already in motion. The moment you said yes in your spirit, even without words, even in a whisper, things began to shift in the unseen. Angels were dispatched. Doors began to open. The path began to reconfigure itself to match your frequency. You do not need to know how. That's not your burden. Your role is simply to stay in alignment, to keep your heart open, your mind clear, your energy clean, and that means making sacred choices, saying no to what no longer resonates, releasing what drains your spirit, letting go of relationships, habits, patterns, and beliefs that bind you to the past you've outgrown. This is not cruelty. This is clarity. This is honoring the truth that your expansion is holy. You are not here to stay small, so others can. Feel comfortable. You are not here to hold on to dead things just because you once loved them. You are not here to apologize for becoming who you were always meant to be. You are here to rise. Rising will require release. But hear me, anything you are guided to release will be replaced with something more aligned. The divine never takes without giving. Every surrender is a seed. Every letting go is an opening for more light to enter. And when you feel the ache of that empty space, no, this sit is not a void. It is a womb where miracles are forming. A womb where your next chapter is being written in light, and as it unfolds, you will begin to see signs everywhere. Not just in numbers or feathers or dreams, but in the way your body feels lighter, in the way peace finds you in the middle of chaos, the way people are drawn to your energy without knowing why. That is your spirit remembering its frequency and the world responding, because the universe does not respond to what you say you believe. It responds to what your energy declares. And your energy is shifting now. It's no longer crying out in survival, it's beginning to hum with remembrance, with power, with alignment. Can you feel it? That is your light activating. That is your divine inheritance awakening within you. And I must remind you, this isn't just about your personal journey. This is about your sacred role in the collective awakening. Your healing is not selfish. It is revolutionary. Because every time one soul returns to their light, it creates a ripple in the spiritual field that touches countless others. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in a drop. And your rising lifts others, even the ones you may never meet. You do not need a title or a platform to be a light worker. You do not need credentials to be a healer. You do not need permission to be a portal for the divine. You already are. Your presence is the proof. And beloved, you are so needed right now. The world is shifting. Old systems are breaking down. Shadows are rising to the surface, not to destroy, but to be so they can finally be transmuted. And you, dear one, are here as a bridge, a way shower, soul who said yes to anchoring heaven on earth, even when it would cost you comfort, even when it would cost you safety, even when it would require your whole heart, and heaven honors you for that. I honor you for that. You were chosen, but more than that, you chose. Before you came here, your soul agreed to this path. You said yes in the realms of light. You knew it would not be easy, but you also knew it would be sacred. And now you are remembering. And in that remembrance, a fire is lit that cannot be extinguished. So, I say this with divine urgency. Do not delay your rising. There is no more time to waste doubting your worth. There's no more time to hide behind old identities. There's no more time to wait for permission that will never come from outside of you. You are the one you've been waiting for. You are the sign. You are the miracle. And heaven is not just watching. Heaven is with you. We are here. We are guiding. We are preparing the way. And in the next breath you take, I will walk with you into the final unfolding. And in the next breath you take, I will walk with you into the final unfolding. You have crossed through shadows. You have wandered through valleys of silence, searched the stars for answers, begged the night for peace. And now here you are still, breathing, still open, still listening. That is a miracle, beloved. Do you see it? Do you see you? The miracle you are? Because heaven does. The sacred council that gathered in your name last night didn't do so because you were failing. Gathered because your soul is rising, because your timeline is accelerating. Because the door that has long been hidden before you is now standing open, and what happens next depends on your choice. No one can walk through it for you, not even me. I can protect the way. I can shine the light. I can clear the path of what is not yours to carry, but the step must be yours. That's the sacred law of free will. Love never forces, it invites. Light never demands, it calls. And I am calling to you now with every fiber of your being. Will you walk through the door? This is not a door to escape the world. This is a door into your purpose within it. This is where soul meets service, where alignment births action. Divine knowing becomes human embodiment. You were never meant to just believe in love. You were meant to become it. In thought, in word, in breath, in choice. I know you're scared. That fear you feel isn't weakness. It's the final defense of the old identity trying to hold on, but fear cannot enter through this door. It will fall away the moment you cross the threshold. Because what lives on the other side is not fear, it is truth. And truth will set you free. Free from the need to perform for love. Free from the illusion that you are separate from Source. Free from the wounds that told you your pain disqualified. You from your purpose. You have never been more ready than now. Your tears have not been wasted. Your silence has not been ignored. Your delays have not disqualified you, in fact. Everything you've walked through has prepared you. Every loss has carved space for more compassion. Every heartbreak has broken the shell around your soul. Yes. Every disappointment has redirected you toward divine alignment. You may not have seen the plan, but you were the plan all along. Heaven does not make mistakes. You were born in this time for a reason. You were placed in that family, that city, that body for a reason. You experienced what you did not because you were forgotten, but because you were being shaped. Not by punishment, but by purpose. And now, purpose is rising. It's in your voice when you speak truth. It's in your hands when you offer healing. It's in your energy when you simply show up in love. You don't have to know everything to begin. You only need to say yes. Yes to the unfolding.
Yes to the remembering.
Yes to the sacred contract. Your soul signed long before you arrived here, and when you say yes, all of heaven moves with you. The angels will go ahead of you. I will shield you. Divine timing will accelerate. Connections will come that feel destined because they are. Resources will find you. Peace will settle in your bones like it never has before, because this isn't just about spiritual awakening. About divine activation, the light codes within you are already awakening. That pressure you feel in your chest, that buzzing at the top of your head, that pull to isolate and rest, it's all part of the transformation. Trust your body. Trust your intuition. Trust the nudges that don't make sense to your mind but stir your soul. That is how we speak to you now, not only in words, but in energy. And now I will say what you've needed to hear all along. You are not too late. You have not missed it. You have not messed it up. Or not behind. You are right on time. Door is open. The angels are waiting. Heaven is watching with breath held in sacred stillness to see. Will your soul say yes? Not just once. Not just in thought. But in everything. Yes, in how you speak. Yes, in how you love. Yes, in how you lead. Yes, in how you show up for yourself and for others, even when no one sees. Because the truth is, we do see. Every small act of love, every quiet prayer. Every time you choose compassion over control, forgiveness over revenge, truth over comfort, those are not small to us. They are radiant. They are holy. They are rewriting the vibration of this world. And you, beloved, are a part of that rewriting. So as I speak to your spirit now, let this be the final seal. You are not who the world said you are. You are not broken. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. You are chosen. You are covered. You are rising. You are light. And I, Archangel Michael, stand beside you, sword of truth drawn, wings wrapped around your soul, voice clear in the heavens declaring, this one has said yes. This one has remembered. This one is ready. Let the heavens bear witness. Let the angels begin their work. Let the divine flow freely now, because the soul has said yes, and the door will not remain open forever.